Well, I took a little trip this morning, and where I went was the VA hospital, and nothing wrong health-wise, but what I was going to do, well, nothing wrong now. Historically, I had a problem with when they did my normal checkup with tests and all, blood work, they come up with one test that came up off. And what it was at that time was, they call it liver enzymes. And it says your liver's not working correctly. So they started running more tests and doing diagnostics to figure out why. They actually gave me hepatitis C shots, and on top of the shots they did an ultrasound, did other things. Finally decided to do a liver biopsy. When all their tests were over, they said they had unequivocally figured it out. It was fatty liver. So the only option to solve that was to lose weight. Well, I spent 20 plus years in the Army. And at one point in the Army, I decided I was too fat and wanted to lose some weight then. And I cut my calorie intake to 1,000 calories a day. And on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I think it was, I was running 11 miles each of those days a week. I'd run 3 miles to work, run 5 miles to the unit, and 3 miles home, so 11 miles. And that was in the morning for PT, and then all the rest of the running around I did during the day. With all that running around, cutting calories to 1,000 a day, and going on for about a month like that, I think I lost like 2 pounds, maybe 3 pounds, and that was it. I just couldn't lose any more weight. So of course I got discouraged. And so when they told me they wanted me to lose weight at the VA, that was the story I told them. And I said to the person at the gastroenterology clinic that I didn't think I could lose weight because I'd tried once before and failed. So I did suggest to him then, if you'll send me to the dietitian and they'll tell me what I can eat or how to do this, I'll follow whatever instructions they give me and I'll see if I can lose the weight. So that was where they set me up with an appointment on February 19th of 2016. I went to my first appointment. They told me what they suggested I do, and then to help me calculate and figure everything out, they suggested an app to me, an app for the, I guess it would work on the iPhone too, but I've got it on an Android. It is called MyFitnessPal, and downloaded at the suggestion of the dietitian to keep track of calories. It keeps track of exercise, and when you're trying to keep track of calories, it's really easy. You literally type in the brand name and the food you got, and it tracks calories, nutrition, the whole 9 yards, everything. So I've been using it since February 19th, and I have been literally religious about doing this. Everything that goes in the pie hole goes in the phone app. And even when I exercise, which all I'm doing exercise with is I work Monday through Thursday, and on the days I work, I get out and walk during lunch for 30 minutes a day, and it's slow pace, leisurely walking. So I'm not out there doing constant exercise and riding mountain bikes up cliffs and stuff. No, I'm not doing any of that. I live and work a sedentary lifestyle. So from February 19th to today was my next visit to the dietitian. They weighed me on February 19th. I went in April, I think it was, and they weighed me. I had dropped from, starting weight was 243.3 pounds. In April, I weighed 234.8, I think it was. Today, I weighed 206.5. Total weight loss so far of 38 pounds. And what the dietitian told me when I asked, how is this doing par-wise? I don't want to lose weight too fast and end up, just starving myself to where I turn to flab and I end up looking like some kind of hideous creature. But I want to lose the weight. Anyway, so after asking him about it, he looked at the weight loss and he told me the lowest you would want to lose at least a pound a week, or attempt to, minimum a half pound, and the maximum about 2 pounds a week. Calculating it out, I've been trying to lose weight now for 20 weeks. And in the 20 weeks, I've lost 38 pounds. So I'm losing almost 2 pounds a week by just the dietary change I made. Now, talking about the dietary change. I don't eat potatoes much anymore, and I'm not eating French fries and hamburgers from like McDonald's and Burger King. Not hating on them, but I figured out for the quantity of calories I want to consume, I want food. And I don't want to have like 800 calories in a little tiny thing of fries that might taste okay, but yeah. Not eating hamburgers, French fries, stuff like that, but one of the interesting concepts or thoughts that the dietitian had told me was that if you stop eating certain foods, after a period of time, you'll stop craving them. You'll stop wanting them. My favorite meal before from the, let's say, McDonald's, for instance, was the 2 cheeseburger meal and fries. So I'd get the 2 cheeseburger meal and fry and a Diet Coke. And I might have that 3 or 4 times a week. And I would also, if I went to Burger King, I would get the long fish sandwich. I'm not really sure what it's called, but it's basically a deep fried piece of fish shoved on a piece of bread with mayonnaise on it and lettuce and then bread on top and then a big fry. And again, Diet Coke. So I stopped eating those and decided to try what he told me. I started eating salads. And when I say salads, I don't mean like a bunch of lettuce and that's it. No. What I'm doing is a good example, if you want to look at it and see what one looks like, is the black and blue salad from Zaxby's. It's a huge salad. Now, I don't like salad dressing. I've never liked salad dressing. I don't eat it on salad. So all the calories that went into the dressing are not going into me because I don't like the stuff. The black and blue salad that I like is 580 calories, and it's got chicken, it's got blue cheese, it's got like those French's little onion things in it. It's got a whole bunch of different type lettuces and a bunch of other stuff in it that makes it taste just awesome. So what I did notice is after stopping eating the hamburgers and eating the other things, I went and the wife wanted a hamburger one day, so I got her a hamburger, and I decided I'd get me a small one, like a junior burger and a small fry. That was like 2 or 3 months in, and so I ate it. And needless to say, I did eat all of it, but after eating it, I felt like I had swallowed a rock. It didn't sit well with me. I didn't like it. By the end of eating it, it didn't even taste good. And so the dietitian's notes or his comments that if you change what you're eating, after a period of time, you'll like the new food you're eating, and you won't really crave or want the foods you had before. That's turned out to be totally true. And so right now my weight loss, we'll say journey, I guess, because that seems to be what everybody else says. I've lost 38 pounds. I started out at 243 pounds, like I said earlier. My goal weight that I'm going to try to get to is right around 150 pounds. And the reason I chose that number specifically, 150 to 160, somewhere in that range. That's the weight I weighed when I was 20 years old and I joined the regular Army as a soldier. That's the weight I weighed when I went into the Army. I mentioned that goal to the dietitian today, and he did inform me of one other thing. He said that your body will have a set weight that it kind of needs or wants to weigh. And so I was asking him, my concern was that I've cut the calories down, and I had a concern that when I got down to the weight I wanted to be at, that I might have trouble stopping losing the weight, and I might start going up and down and up and down. I'd add calories in, start gaining weight back, then take the calories away, then start going back down, and struggle to equal out or get an equilibrium of weight loss versus not weight loss on what I was eating. And the dietitian told me, well, in a lot of cases, your body has a set weight that's kind of a good, healthy weight. And he said, if I continue with the calories I'm eating now, likely when I get down to that weight, my weight loss will just stop. I'll just kind of level out, and that's what I'll be from then on, unless I start eating more again and start gaining weight back. Or if I reduce the calories even more, I guess I could starve myself. But that was kind of a concern, that I might not be able to stop losing weight, or I might, start going up and down and up and down and have a real problem with that. So far, the weight loss has worked really easy. And like I said earlier, sedentary lifestyle. I'm not out running around all over the place exercising. So if you're feeling discouraged, if you're happen to see my video and you're feeling discouraged and you like to lose weight, it's not really that hard, to be honest. I've never really tried before, other than that one time I mentioned. But getting educated with a dietitian's help, so you know what to do, what to eat, what's good for you, how to do it. The only changes I've made is I just control what I eat, and I'm not hungry. Trust me, I am definitely not going hungry. In fact, a lot of days I make an active effort to eat more food to get the appropriate amount of calories, because one thing the dietitian did tell me is I didn't want to drop my calorie intake too much, because then your body thinks it's starving and it won't lose the weight. And that's what he said I did to my body back when I was in the Army. I cut the calories to 1,000 calories a day. My body thought it was being starved, so it started shutting down everything it could, trying to keep from being starved to death or losing weight. So the numbers wise, if you're, those people like numbers wise, what he told me is take and just eat like I normally was. Eat the same stuff that I'd always been eating for like a few days a week. But record everything that I was eating in that app, in the MyFitnessPal. And after that week, whatever number was the kind of average of what I eat daily, knock 500 calories off that. No more, just 500. So I cheated a little bit. I didn't just eat everything a week. I just put into the app what I had known I'd eaten over the last few days. I'd sit down and think about it, and I filled in the numbers or the foods, and it kicked out the numbers. I was eating an average of 20 or somewhere around 2,500, 2,600, 2,800 calories every day. So by doing that, of course, they say 2,000 calories is, kind of a balanced diet based on and I think the 2,000 calories even is somebody that's a little active. So I took that and I put it in the app and made my goal to be 1,900 calories a day or less. And I average anywhere between 1,600 calories every day is about what I'm eating. And if I go the whole day, get to the evening, and I figure out, well, I've only ate like 1,200 calories, then I'll eat something else just to add more calorie intake so that my body doesn't think it's being starved. The other thing I do is I'm not sitting here and having like a big breakfast. I don't even want a big breakfast. In fact, it would probably make me sick to eat that much food at one sitting. So what I do is I'll get ready to go to work, and when I'm heading out the door, I'll reach into my fruit bowl there, grab me like one Granny Smith apple, maybe a banana, and I found like Kellogg's and Fiber One. It's like breakfast bars. They're like oats and maybe a little icing and some other things on them. Some of them got chocolate, some of them got nuts. But the key with them is they're only 100 or 90 calories. So my breakfast then will be like an apple and one of those bars, or maybe an apple and a banana. And then what I'll do is later on in the morning, maybe 9 or 10 o'clock, I go to work. When I'm talking about leaving early in the morning, I'm leaving at like 5 o'clock in the morning. So then about 8 or 9 o'clock, maybe 10 o'clock, I'll have another apple or have a banana or maybe some dried fruit or sometimes nuts. The dietitian did really suggest using like nuts, almonds, peanuts, things of that nature. I'll do that sometimes, but nuts are so high in calories. You get a little handful of nuts and that's like 200 or 300 calories. Not a little handful, but like you can buy the little emerald packs. I bought those for a while, and it's got like 10 or 11 almonds, and they're covered with cocoa powder. So no sugar on them so much, I don't think, but just cocoa powder. And they're 100 calories for that little package. They really taste good. So I would eat nuts every now and then, but because of the significant calories in nuts, I don't eat them that often. I might use the tuna and mix that with sauerkraut or with some other vegetable and I'll just buy a can of vegetables, and I pay attention to the vegetables. I look at the calorie count on the back. Usually a full-size can of vegetables is about 3.5 servings is the normal thing. That's what's in the can. But if your can is 60 calories and you got 3.5 servings plus you add a little tuna or salmon or some of the fish in with it, then you get the protein from the meat and you get the calories you need to keep your body going from the vegetables too. And it makes an actually tasty lunch when you mix it in. A little salt, a little pepper. And the neat thing about the app too is if you're concerned about sodium or something else, it also tracks the sodium count. And it tracks just all kinds of things. Protein, sodium, all the nutrients that are in the food you're eating. So it works out really well with that. This is my video 20 weeks into trying to lose weight. Like I say, right at 2 pounds a week almost. And it's not one of those things, me personally, I did not want to drop weight really fast. Maybe some people do, but I'd always heard the nightmare horror story of people that drop weight really quick, then they change their eating habits again and just put the weight back on and even add more. Well, of course I didn't want to do that. But the other thing I was worried about is I had a bit of a stomach. It was beginning. I mean, I never was really like, well, I was big, but I wasn't like gargantuan. I gained weight over my entire body. What my fear was, and I even voiced that to the dietitian today, I didn't want to be one of those people that when I lost the weight, then I'd get this huge, saggy, blech, hanging down on the front of my stomach, you know, from having a belly before, or, you know, have like big waddles under my arms, which I don't. I don't have any loose skin at all anywhere so far. So I wanted to lose weight gradually so that I wouldn't end up having, you know, turkey waddle under my chin. And when I voiced that concern, he did mention, you know, as you get older, your body or skin has less collagen, and so it's not as elastic as it used to be. He said in my case, though, considering I'm not all wrinkled up at my age, then it's possible that I won't end up with like sagging skin everywhere. I may have some loose skin, but it shouldn't be real horrible. And so that's a good hope. Let's hope that works. But I'll make another video hopefully in the future. We've made this one, or I made this one at 20 weeks in. Maybe at 30 weeks or 40 weeks, I'll do another one and we'll see what the weight is then and see how well I'm doing. Hope. And the whole point behind making this video wasn't I'm happy and I'm content with the weight loss I've got, but I kind of wanted to make the video just to tell other people that are hoping to lose weight or have tried and failed and tried again and took gimmick diets and all this other stuff and attempted and failed and attempted and failed, that me, sedentary lifestyle, James, that doesn't exercise, can't run because I've got a really bad back and bad neck, so I can't get out and do a lot of those exercises. It's not like a swimming pool around here, so I'm not going to go swimming. I'm not going to do all those exercise things. Even without being able to exercise hardly at all other than walk, and that's, like I said, 30 minutes a day, 4 times a week, and that's it. So with only that, I'm still losing weight. So if you've been trying to lose weight and you got disheartened like I did that one time years back when I was still in the Army, then there is hope. I mean, it's doable. As a summary of it, I've been trying to lose weight now for 20 weeks. Started February 19th. Today is what is today? 15th of July. Yeah, 15th of July. So February 19th, 15th July, I've lost 38 pounds. I've only started eating healthier foods and not stuff that tastes really horrible, but eating good foods that taste good. Controlling your calories by dropping 500 calories per day, 3,500 calories a week. Average weight loss of a little over a pound a week, closer to 2 pounds a week. And hopefully this will inspire someone else that's hoping to lose weight, and maybe you'll be able to do so too. Have a great night.